hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bedtime Stories From Beyond, a new segment here on the Paranormal Portal, hopefully to give you some more digestible portions of all that is Paranormal Portal. So here we are, and tonight we're going to be discussing stories of encounters with spirits and beings, hopefully to get you all ready for bed. So before we go any further, turn down the lights, light a candle, get something to drink, cozy up. Make sure to check under the bed and shut the closet door, because we're going in. Ghost encounters are probably some of the most common of the paranormal encounters out there. I think everybody and their brother and their sister knows something about ghosts, having either sat around campfires and traded stories, or having those weird feelings like you're being watched or you're not alone. I was just having a discussion with my cousin who he and I grew up really, really close, and we were we experienced quite a bit together, and I think visiting him was where I got my feet really wet with encountering the paranormal. His home was, pretty fantastically haunted. I don't recall any specific events there, but I do recall what it felt like to be watched, and I recall what it felt like to know somebody was watching me and to not be able to do anything about it. And I was about 12 years old at the time, maybe 13. And it was an incredibly unnerving experience, but it gave me a real respect and appreciation and curiosity about what is this that is the paranormal. And so I've had a lot of these experiences, and a lot of things have happened to me with ghostly encounters or spiritual encounters. Many of which have been wonderful. Many of the encounters that I've had have not been horrible at all, but they've been encouraging and comforting, which I think is important to note, because oftentimes the scary ones are all that get the press. I mean, we hear about the scary ones all the time, but then again, we all love to be scared, so it's entertaining, I guess, to a degree, and as long as everybody's okay and nobody got hurt, it's all in good fun. But tonight we're going to talk about a few stories that of people that encountered ghosts themselves. And these segments are, I just think it's important. Not everybody has a couple hours to watch the Paranormal Portal, so I thought I'd put together these more bite-sized segments to give you all something to enjoy if you don't have time to watch a 2-hour episode or interview or, whatever we happen to be covering. So hopefully you guys enjoy these, and they definitely will add to what we offer here on the portal. But I just want to, be involved in the portal more than just Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There's too many days in between there when I feel like, I should be doing something. So this is something. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into some of these tales. So First one I want to bring to you is kind of a quick one, and it goes like this. One night after a long day at school, I decided to go to bed early because I had a really bad headache. And there is a forest in my backyard, and I sometimes feel like someone's watching me. But that night it was way worse, so I looked around and saw shadows moving. I decided to ignore it, and I went to bed. As I fell asleep, I started having this dream that a guy was chasing me in the forest. And after running for a while, I turned around to see if he was still there, but I couldn't see him. So I stopped and turned around, and he grabbed my wrists really hard. It felt so real, like if it wasn't in a dream. I woke up, and to my horror, I saw that both my wrists were bruised in the shape of fingers. I still freak out when someone grabs my wrists. And ladies and gentlemen, there's this idea out there, and I'm not sure where this comes from. I guess maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe it's an idea of being protected. But some people claim that ghosts can't hurt you. And while I agree that 99% of the times ghosts wouldn't hurt you, I don't know that they can't. I don't know that there's any rules that say they can't, or if people cross a line that they wouldn't respond. There are so many stories like this, ladies and gentlemen, where people are struck, they are thrown up against walls, they are grabbed and have lasting bruises around their neck, they're choked. There's several instances of people being choked by things that appeared from seemingly out of nowhere. In one such instance, a paranormal investigator was investigating a house, I believe in California. It was extraordinarily haunted, and this was back probably in the 80s, so quite a long time now ago, but it's a pretty well-known case, and they were investigating. The woman had a horrible situation. It was just her and her son, infant son in a home, had horrible things going on. They called in the investigators. They came back several times, but one night in particular, they decided to go check out the attic, which was not a walk-up attic. It was an access attic. And so the guy goes in the laundry room, stands up on the washing machine, pushes up the panel of the ceiling to get up in the attic, and two of the investigators go up there. And all of a sudden, they're up there, and the next thing they know, they're hearing, whoa, whoa, they're hearing all this commotion downstairs, and the guy comes down, and he's got a piece of wire wrapped around his neck. And the other investigator was able to snap a couple pictures of what had happened, but the picture shows the guy being held pretty much on his tippy toes up to a rafter where this wire was put around his neck and hung up on a nail. And the guy did get down, but he was really quite rattled. They did have photographic evidence of it. It seems to be, I would give it credibility. I mean, it seems like a fantastic claim, but it is pretty well documented and well researched. I've never heard that it's been debunked. There are many cases of people being grabbed and having finger marks on them, slaps, and of course we've all heard of the scratches. Many people being scratched by spirits. So when people say spirits can't hurt you, that's not necessarily true, and I would caution having that kind of arrogance. Not that I think you need to be afraid, but I think you need to be cautious. Just my 2 cents on that one. The next one I want to bring to you tonight is a little bit longer, but not too much. And it says, about 5 years ago, my aunt moved in with me and my family because she was really sick, and her kids lived out of state. I was always really close with my aunt and looked forward to her living with us. I was closer to her than I was with my own mom. Anyway, she stayed with us for about 5 months and then decided to move out west so she could be closer to her own kids. After about 2 months of her moving out west, her daughter called me and told me my aunt was in the hospital and the doctors didn't think she was going to make it out. I was really upset, but I was also thankful that I had a chance to become even more close to her in the 5 months that they stayed with us, or that she stayed with us. A week later, I was laying on the couch, half awake and half asleep, when I had a dream that my aunt was skipping down the driveway, telling me goodbye and that she would be back. She was real adamant about the fact that she'd be back. She claimed she climbed into her SUV and drove off. And just as she was driving off in my dream, the phone rang and I woke me up, and it was my mother telling me that my aunt had just died. I knew that's what she was going to say even before she got the words out. What was weird about the dream is that my aunt looked healthy. She actually had some weight on. She was always skin and bones, and because she was so sick, and the fact that she was skipping, my aunt could barely walk, let alone skip. But plus, she didn't own a car because she always was too weak to drive. I like to believe that she came to tell me goodbye in my dreams, but as far as her coming back, I kind of wish she would. I say I kind of wish she would because I've never seen a ghost and know for a fact that I would go insane if I did. So those are the really encouraging kinds of visits, and it's nice for the closure. It's nice for the connection. It's nice that our loved ones can visit us, and this has happened to me a few times. Most recently, my father visited me in a dream. He died just this last spring, and it was pretty tough, but it was really healing, a really healing moment when he showed up in my dream, and it was very, very lucid and real, even down to smells and the feeling of him. It was just all there. And for me, it was wonderful, and we got to say some things, and he said some things he needed to say, and I said some things I needed to say, and it was very, very healing. And some people may play that off as a psychology thing. Well, it's just you're trying to reconcile that in your subconscious mind, and so that's your way of making peace with that. And if that's what some people believe, then that's fine. But for me, it was real. It was a real experience, a real event. And it was something that I'm really grateful for. And several other loved ones have visited me as well. And all of them have been absolutely amazing experiences and very, very real. Now, the difference for me is that I normally don't remember my dreams. I normally very, very vaguely remember seeing something happen or knowing that something happened in a dream. Sometimes I will get an image or two of recall, and that's about it. But these dreams are just crystal clear and wake up just with such strong emotion and love, and they are just really amazing. So I believe there's really something to that, and I'm really thankful for those experiences that I've been able to have, and I hope any of you out there that have suffered the loss of a loved one have had experiences like that as well. And if you have, please let me know. Email your experiences like that to paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Those are great things to hear about and to share. I love those kind of stories incredibly because of the hope and the peace and the love that they give and they cause. So the next one is a little bit longer, and this will be the last one for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want these segments to be quick and short and digestible. So this is the next one and the last one. And it said, I've been living in Santa Barbara back in 1993 when I found myself suddenly without a job. After several months of no luck finding any other job, I started going to a local temporary agency for work. One by one, they turned me down, telling me that with my engineering degree, that they weren't going to be able to place me because I was overqualified. I never understand that. For anything that they had to offer. So out of the 7 temp agencies in town, the first 6 had turned me away without even taking my resume. However, the 7th place not only took me in, but they actually gave me a job. And I found out later that this last place was run by 2 ladies who both had strong psychic abilities. And many of their workers also had strong psychic ability. So anyway, at the job they got me, I became friends with this one girl who also worked with them, who was a strong psychic as well. And she would tell me what I had for breakfast that day or what I would find in my mail when I got home, things like that. It was really freaky. And I was really into using a Ouija board at that time and have since learned why one should never do that. Oh, God. Yeah, that never ends very well usually. But and And that was this girl's main practice. So we would get together all the time and use her Ouija board, and she had specially made, and it was round and made of wood and really elaborately decorated, and it was actually very nice, even as just a piece of art. Well, this girl's background story was that in every incarnation she had been through, she had always ended up being killed by this evil spirit who was jealous of her relationships with her soulmate. Apparently, also, she had always been killed with the same jeweled dagger. So, in this incarnation, she had said that she had identified her soulmate and the evil spirit whom happened to be married to each other this time around, and she had a photograph of them, with this woman having a jeweled dagger stuck in her belt as some kind of decoration, perhaps. Anyway, so take this part of the story as you will. So we were doing the board one night, and we were talking with her guardian angel, and suddenly an evil spirit took over the board and started swearing at us and threatening us, so we decided to send it away and call it a night. At this point, it was about 2 a.m., and we were discussing what had just happened, and I mentioned to my friend that I would like to try to help her in any way I could, spiritually anyway, so to save her from repeating her fate. She thanked me, and I gathered my things and left. I was about 10 steps outside her door when suddenly someone screamed in my ear. It was almost like someone ran past me, screaming at me because the volume was very low, but then very loud, then very low again. I spun around, but of course nobody was there. My friend lived in an apartment complex, but being 2 in the morning, it was all quiet around. I was scared and went back to my friend's place. I thought I knew what I had heard, but we brought out the board again and called for her guardian angel to confirm it. What I heard was, "Don't help her, you jerk." So now I'm scared out of my wits, thinking her evil spirit is now after me. It took a while to calm down my friend. Calm me down, and my friend said that she would ask her guardian angel to accompany me home to make sure I was safe. I kind of poo-pooed that in my mind, thinking that wasn't possible, but agreed. So I get in my car and start driving home. Several minutes later, when I was on the freeway of all places, what should happen but suddenly a man, her guardian angel I assume, appeared sitting in the passenger seat of my car. Solid as you or I, he was about 35, blonde hair, wearing a red plaid shirt and blue jeans. His body was turned towards me, and he smiled at me and waved and then disappeared. I thought to myself, huh? What do you know? He did follow me home. That's cool. Then when I got back to my apartment and parked my car, this man appeared again, solid as before, sitting cross-legged on the hood of my car, again smiling and waving at me. Then the next morning, as I was taking a shower, suddenly 2 eyeballs appeared on the wall of my shower and looked around and disappeared. Whoa. That freaked me out the most, but only because I was naked at the time in the shower. I assumed the eyeballs belonged to the guardian angel. So nothing bad happened to me in regards to the evil spirit, and I never saw the red plaid man again. Many people ask me, weren't you scared when he showed up in your car when you were going 70 miles an hour? And I say, no, actually a sense of peace and calm came over me each time he appeared, and I knew that I was safe with him. It was a very, very interesting experience. It was. That is a very interesting experience, and very cool experience all the same. I hope you guys have enjoyed these, and I see there's several of you in the chat room. Again, this is just a short segment. It's going to be, hopefully I'll get to these every night that we don't have a show, but I'll at least try to get several a week done. But I just like the idea of bringing you guys another segment or another portion size of the portal, because I know it's kind of hard for some of you to watch a full 2-hour episode, and this is just another way to bring you something that maybe you can squeeze in a little easier, and maybe it's easier to share and spread around. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all you guys. Thanks, Ruthie. I see Ruthie's in here. Dana Sizemore, really, Julia, Sam, Taz, Don's in there. Hey, Don. Yeah, make sure to hit the like button. Just looking to see if I missed anybody. MCAT, how you doing, brother? And looking through the board here. Haxer, how you doing, Haxer? Great to see you. Thank you all for being here. If I missed anybody, I'm really sorry, but I'm rolling through the list. Oh, Silex is in here. How you doing, Silex? And I think that's everybody, but if I missed any of you guys, I am sorry. Oh, Ken's in there too. All right. So thank you all, and I will be back tomorrow night with Don, and we will be bringing you the Wednesday edition of the Paranormal Portal, and then maybe I'll get another one of these up Thursday night. So watch for it then, ladies and gentlemen, but be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, and I hope you've enjoyed this little segment. Let me know in the comments what you think of the bedtime stories, if you want to hear more of them, or if you think it's too short, you need more. But again, we'll see you guys tomorrow night, and Don and I will be joining you and bring more of the Paranormal Portal mayhem to your computer at home or however you watch us. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night.